Yeah. Okay, I want to take a step forward and ask you about how you actually do this research. So, you did mention some tests. I always am intrigued when people bring all these big machines, and I know is it TMS, the one where you zap people in the head for a little bit with magnets, the ones with all the cables come out, the neurosciencey stuff. How do you do your research when you talk about memory research? I know you spoke about doing lab work as well, or with animals and interested in translational work. So yeah, what does your lab do?
Yeah, so great questions. Yeah, and yes, it was like TMS, and I'm thinking of previously you mentioned this like EEG too, but I'll explain it a little bit more. Yeah, so I previously when I was in University of Edinburgh, I did a lot of like animal work, so using behavioral stuff and also doing optogenetics, so basically shining light into different neurons, like to activate or deactivate them, and also calcium imaging, so implant like a mini like microscope into the brain, and while the animal is exploring, like we record what is going on with the calcium like channel, so looking into what's happening in the brain, like so this is like very exciting because that gives us tools and opportunities looking to what happened in the brain, and also behavioral wise what's going on. And since I came to Liverpool, I expanded my field because I'm really interested in the translation of it. And I think it's really important that we're able to apply what we learn into like human, because ultimately our goal is
Mhm.
to contribute, to human, to improve our brain health and also well-being in general. So that is what I started to work with like different organizations too, because I do think they are really important and also inform us, what they actually want to know. So as a researcher, I feel like sometimes we have our amazing like research questions, like so we have really unique like fields, and then we build up on, oh, this is like great hypothesis, great research questions, and then I thought that, well, is that what the public actually wants to know? Is this something they really want to find out, or is that only like researchers want to find out? And that is why I started to work with different organizations, because what I'm interested in is like healthy aging in general. So I work with like University of Third Age, so U3A. So they are amazing like network. So they have like hubs throughout the whole UK. So I'm very sure that they have one in Liverpool, and also they have maybe multiples in Glasgow too. So definitely I know that they have one in Edinburgh. So the one that I work with is with U3A Autism and Ormskirk. So that's where we are like with a university. So they are a very vibrant group, and they're retired people, so usually 60 or 65 plus. So, and they really wanted to know the latest research of health and well-being. Yeah. So, and that is why we have this like co-creation idea. So, what is that about? So, in the very beginning, I will have a consultation like period with them. So they will let us know what kind of research area they would like to know more. So the topics and also research area is that from them. It's not just from us. So of course, I'm really interested in memory and dementia. However, what kind of like memory, what like in the memory and also dementia, they would like to know more. So it's driven from the community, and I think this is really important, because when it's come from them, they will be more interested. And when we have the
Mhm.
workshops together, it's very targeted to the communities rather than, I talk about all the mechanisms of like a memory. So it works really well. So we started this program now. It's for 3 years now. So I've got like some funding, and then we have this co-creation like with U3, and it's also forming a really nice professional bond, because whenever that I go to the coffee morning, I feel like positive energy from them, because they're really excited. They were like, okay, so what's going on? What's this the new research? Yeah, so we ran workshops, from different topics, from like physical activity. For example, we all know that physical activities, I mean, it's good for like across lifespan, right? But what types of activities, how long is that for that target age group? So they would like to know more. So more specific to them. So we've got like physical activity, we've got emotion. So like as you know, from since COVID, a lot of older participants or like older adults, they feel quite isolated. Okay, so after that, how can we help them to form the community better again. Yeah. And also, after retirement, some people may feel like the shift of focus is different. So maybe previously, like you focus on your work a lot, right? But now after retirement, then like unless you have a really good hobby already, then like maybe the sense of like the shift will be different. So I think it's like forming this social elements with them is really important. And we also had covered topics like alcohol. Is like alcohol actually good for you or not? Like a glass of like red wine, is that good for you or not? So these are like all topics coming from like the community, and then we invited speakers to talk about it. And I remember one which is I invited Susanna Walker, from like HMU to talk about the neuroscience about touch, because like when you become older, you probably less of sense of touch. So we've got this like a workshop about theory of it, and then back to back, we're also invited a dance lecturer like James, like he talk about and also have a practical session about the movement. So like the importance of touch and movement. So they really enjoyed it because you got the neuroscience bit and also got like the practical bit. So yeah, so this is still on, and yeah, we really wanted to forming this network, through like different youth rate hubs, and also like with the community, like yeah. So I think that is like really good that having the communities there, to work with, and just back to your question, like yeah, so yeah, so it's like what's now like working with the communities is great because right now our lab is developing like behavioral studies, like to understanding the neurobiology of memory. So I'm hoping to have this like translational bit, so from what I did with the animals, to translate this to human. So I've got one project going on is using Minecraft. Like I don't know if you both like Minecraft, so like yeah, yeah. So like my students and my team like are working with students and also kids previously. So it's using Minecraft like to see how does prior knowledge influence memory and also information seeking. So basically, the participant needs to go into the Minecraft world, and then we have a world like that. They basically need to do like spatial navigations. So they have to break the blocks, and then like finding is it like a goal like in the Minecraft. And then we also got another project going on is like a shopping mall. So I don't know if you like both like shopping. So the idea is that the participants need to understand this shopping mall, and then they have to find these items. Like you say, if I would like to buy a nice T-shirt, like maybe a white T-shirts that Bethany has, like which shop should I go? So the idea is this task is that like to see how does prior knowledge helps them to learn things better and quicker. And then could we apply this with like early onset dementia, because this project is also collaborating with Walton Center, like a hospital like based in Liverpool. Yeah, so the idea is to see, could we develop this behavioral paradigm? So ultimately, could we use this paradigm to help people with any memory problems? Yeah. And I think one more project that is like I'm really excited about is a recent project that I collaborate with like computer science, like a department, because I really like all this interdisciplinary like projects. Yeah, I think like working with people in the arts, like in the dance, and also working with people in computer science. So this project is also looking into how prior knowledge influence like memory, but we've got a more slightly real life setting. So we're divided into two groups. Okay, so we have this set up using VR, so virtual reality. So one of the student, Robert, so he made like the actual computer science like hub at actually. So there are students from computer science know this building very well. Okay, so they now need to go into this virtual reality world, like mimicking what happened in the real world, and they gotta go and find the items. And the idea is that if you got like prior knowledge will that give you advantage to find these items better, like versus then if I never came across into the computer science building, maybe I have the disadvantage. So this is more like a real life settings, and I'm moving towards that direction because I would like to apply things that in a more real life setting, just a pure lab-based setting. Yeah. And what currently I'm using with the tools, later with the equipment, is like mobile EEG, and that's just the first step that link with the behavioral. And hopefully in the future, maybe I would use like fMRI or like TMS too. So so we're like working towards like step by step. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
So
that's very comprehensive.
yeah, right. Like honestly, so many projects, Dorothy. I think I know them all, and then you spring this Minecraft one on me. Um,
Yeah.
so it sounds like a lot of things you're doing is helping memory, but also preventing dementia.
Mm.
And you mentioned ways that you're trying to like kind of understand that more in real life, and like maybe not so much real life in the lab setting.
Mm.
Can you say what do you think healthy behaviours we can do day to day to help maybe prevent dementia? Is there any in particular that come to mind?
Yeah, I think it's like mainly is doing having like physical activity and also sleep well. Like I think this is like really important that too. Yeah, and also eat well, and and also forming your social connection. I think that's like the social part is really important. Like it's across like lifespan, because I think we are all like social like animals. Like so I do think that's four elements that's like really important. Yeah. Mhm.
So social, eat well, sleep well, exercise.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
That's good. So, excuse for being late, I've slept well.
I didn't
Excuse for leaving early, need to go to the gym before the rush, need to hang out with friends.
I like
Need to eat
it.
olive oil and pizza. Sounds great.
I think it's like also having like a positive mindset with things like that's really important too. Yeah, like physical and mental. Yes. Mhm.
Uh, that's incredible. That's a very nice, succinct way to look at it. Uh, the other question was, which interested me, was you mentioned something about is wine potentially good for you or bad for you? That question,
Right, top
I was
hour,
like, why did you
that's
pick that
it.
example? Is this good? Is it good in any way? Uh,
I think this maybe more this is more like a myth. Yeah, but I personally am not the expert, but we have like a workshop talking about the actual like impact of alcohol, like and also like there was another topic which I found personally found is really interesting, which is called social prescribing. And then yeah, there's probably more recently, instead of like prescribing any like medicines, like social prescribing, together, like going out like for a walk in a like more green area is also important. So I think there are lots of different topics that we can cover, for health and well-being. Yes, and this is like I found it's like interesting, and through different workshops that I feel like I learn more about like how to have like a better like health and well-being life. Yeah.
I think after COVID-19, especially like after all the lockdowns, I had to. It was so hard almost to physically try to get social again. Like you had to almost force yourself a little bit to do it, and it's important that when the research is saying you need to do it, gives even more reason to,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
make that effort.
exactly. So when you mentioned that, it makes me think of the first visit when I went to U3. So the University of Third the hub that I were there. I remember first of all they welcomed me, and then afterwards they showed me a list of activities they have, and I was so surprised. There are like about maybe 80 to 100 of activities like they've got, and this is from hill walking, to yoga, and it was amazing that I'm really surprised like how many activities they offer. So this is something that I thought is, and also with the activities, it's not just you do it by yourself, right? It's like a social connection bond. So I do think that having the social elements, with the communities is really important. Yeah.